So we will talk about the Raagaanga Paddhati, the Raagaanga system of classification of ragas in this video. Now this Paddhati, this Raagaanga Paddhati finds more traction among musicians themselves. What is Raagaanga? Raagaanga is a word that is derived from Raga plus Anga. Raga is Raagaanga is you can, it's a limb, you can say, or part. So in this case Raagaanga really refers to a phrase, a typical phrase, what may be called Raga Vachaka phrase, that is a phrase that tells you what that raga is. So for instance, just this, right? Ni dhani, with a particular, what is called ucharan, the way it is rendered. Ni dhani. That this phrase belongs to Kalyan. Rag Kalyan or Rag Yaman owns it. And if this phrase is found in other ragas, that is grounds for classifying that raga under Kalyan. Kalyan Ang, Kalyan Raagaanga. So this is how this system works. So this is again a very typical phrase of Yaman or Kalyan, and it is a typical Kalyan Ang, a limb of Kalyan. So how the system works is that major ragas are regarded as Raagaanga ragas. That is, their limbs or the phrases that make up those ragas are regarded as definitive of those ragas, right? That is what they are. And when these phrases are found in other ragas, those other ragas are regarded as Kalyan Ang or Kalyan Prakar. Then there are two words for this, Kalyan Prakar also we say, or Malhar Prakar. That is, we say it's a type of Kalyan. That is the Raagaanga Paddhati. So now, even though this is not perfect or flawless, it is still it's based on the personality of the raga, and therefore it is preferred. That is, it takes into account not just what notes are used, which is what the Mela system does, but how these notes are used, how the notes are brought into phrases, and how they are delivered, how they are rendered. Raga Ucharan, Swarocharan as it is called, Swara. How is it delivered, how is it rendered? So it really includes elements such as ornament, Shruti, and also the laya, the internal spacing and internal distribution, or the laya, that is what you can say, the rhythm with which, internal rhythm of that phrase. Now Raagaanga Paddhati is, as I said, fairly popular among in the performance tradition itself, and different musicians, theorists have come up with different number of Raagaangas. That is, how many main ragas do you have? How many Raagaanga ragas do we have? So here also there is a difference of opinion. And Narayan Moreshwar Khare, who was a disciple of Vishnu Digambar Paluskar, Narayan Moreshwar Khare, who was a disciple of Vishnu Digambar Paluskar, who was another epoch maker of the 20th century. He is, Raagaanga Paddhati is really most closely associated with Khare, and he proposed 30 Raagaangas, that is 30 main important Raagaanga ragas. Now how does the Raagaanga system work? So let's look at a few Raagaangas and how ragas are classified under these Raagaanga. Let's take Bhairav. Bhairav is an ancient raga really, and Bhairav is obviously it's one of the Raagaanga ragas. And what are some important angas of Bhairav? Gha mare sa gha mare sa. And this is a very important anga of Bhairav. It is Shuddha Gandhar, Komal Rishabh, that meaned, and the Rishabh the Re is slightly oscillated. Now this is a typical phrase of Bhairav, and if this is found in some other raga, that is grounds for classifying that raga under Bhairav. You say Bhairavang, Bhairav Raagaanga. Bhairav is a Raagaanga raga, and this is a Bhairav Prakar, the type of Bhairav. Ahir Bhairav, as I mentioned earlier, has this phrase sa re ga ma re sa. Doesn't matter that the rest of the raga, rest of the swaras are different. They are not the swaras that are used in Bhairav, but it is still classified under Bhairav. Ahir Bhairav is a Bhairav ka prakar. In fact, Pandit Ramashri Jha, who was a leading musicologist, Shastrakar, a person who wrote treatises in Hindi about ragas, when he talks about Ahir Bhairav, he says that Ahir Bhairav this is in Bhairav ka prakar, right? It belongs to the Bhairav ang, but even though the dha and the ni are different from Bhairav That, it is still classified under the Bhairav That. So just because Ahir Bhairav has the Bhairav ang, that is grounds for also classifying it under Bhairav That. The point here is both these paddhatis are used simultaneously, Mela Paddhati and Raagaanga Paddhati. Both have issues. Both are, as I said, imperfect. One of them, because they address different aspects of ragas. Mela only addresses the swaras, whereas Raagaanga Paddhati addresses the personality, the melodic personality of the raga. So when Shastrakaras, musicians and people who discourse about music, they freely use both systems. There is no conflict here. It's not that you have to, commit yourself to only one classification system. It's not like that. Let me demonstrate Kannada. Kannada is another important Raagaanga. Some important phrases here are Darbari Kannada is of course one very famous important raga here. Sa re ga. Now that ga is oscillated, but it is different from the oscillation of, say, the Malharang. Sa sa re ga ma re sa. And this is typical of, this is a very typical phrase of Kannada, and it is there of course in Darbari Kannada. Re ga ma re sa, re sa re ni sa, ni sa re sa da ni pa. Again this is ni pa, ni pa, that ni pa, ni pa, that long glide to the ni from the pa. Ni pa, that's a sa, sa ni pa. This is also a very typical Kannada ang. We have Abhogi Kannada, which has this phrase of re ga ma re sa. Sa re ga ma re sa, da da sa re ga re sa da. So the dha is different from Darbari Kannada. Here it is Shuddha. Darbari has Komal, but both of them belong to the same family of ragas. They cannot belong to the same thought because the dha are different, dha is different. But they belong to the same family. Again you have ragas like Nayaki Kannada, Sahana Kannada. Many Kannada prakars are there because they will be using one or the other of these phrases that define Kannada ang. For instance, Nayaki. Ga ma ni pa de, that ni pa de, it doesn't have this phrase is not found in Nayaki Kannada, but this other phrase is found. De re na, de re di na, de ra. Because of that nipa, the way the nipa is rendered in Nayaki, it is regarded as Kannada prakar. Similarly, Sahana Kannada is there. Pa ga ma da ni pa. Again the same ni pa. Pa ma pa ga de ra na ra de ra de re ra de ra na ni ma pa sa da ni pa. We often have the same cluster of notes, the same set of notes, but they give a very different personality. This can be accommodated under the Raagaanga Paddhati, not under Mela, obviously. For instance, if you look at Sarangang, Sarang is also an important ang. So here you have ni sa re ma pa re ma re ni sa re ma pa ma re sa ni sa re sa ni pa. It's not ni sa re sa ni pa. Typically Sarang will not use this kind of ni pa, that belongs to Kannada. So Sarang is you can look at this, the link that is given below, in which Pandit Ramashri Jha gives a masterful demonstration of this Remapa, the same set of swaras in Sarang and in another rag called Megh. He says that in Sarang the Re, the Rishabha, is Nirashrita. So the Re is just, it stands by itself. Ni sa re ma pa re, re ma ni sa re sa, ni sa re ma pa ni sa ni pa re, re ma pa re ma ni sa re sa. This is, of course, this is Vrindavana Sarang. This is a very important rag. There is another rag, Madhvat Sarang, which uses only the Komal knee. Vrindavan Sarang uses both knees. Ni sa re ma pa ni. This is the Shuddha knee. Sa ni pa, that is a Komal knee. Sa ni pa ma re, re ma ni sa. There's Madhvat Sarang, another ancient rag. It uses only Komal Nishad. Ni sa re ma pa re sa ni pa ni sa re pa ma re ma pa ma re sa ni sa re ma pa ni sa ni pa ma pa ni sa ni pa ma pa re ma pa ma re sa ni sa re ma re sa ni sa re sa ni pa. This is Madhvat Sarang. When the same notes are used in a different ang, the Malharang. Re, so here the Re is, it's not independent. The Re ma pa re, it's not like that. Re sa, there is an andolan. You bring it from the madhyam. Again the knee. So just this, that the knee and the re are shaken in Megh, that creates a world of difference between the two ragas. So Malhar is another very important Raagaanga. Its main phrases are ma re pa. This is a very important phrase of Malhar, along with the re pa ga ma re. The ga, both Kannada and Malhar have Komal Gandhar. Both are andolit, both are shaken, but it's a very different position in which they are shaken. So Kannada Gandhar is lower. Sa re ga. This is Kannada ga. Re pa ga ma re. So it's the ga there is shaken with the ma, and here in Kannada the ga is closer to the re, the Rishabh. So these are all what make up for the Uchcharan, the rendering. The Uchcharan is often translated as pronouncing, but in this case, of course, it is how it is rendered, how you actually sing it. Let us listen to an important Malhar Prakar, God Malhar. God Malhar has the Malharang of Repa. Sa re ga ma re re pa ma pa da sa da pa ma pa ma ga ga ma re ga sa re ga ma re 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 pa. So that is the Malharanga. Let's listen to God Malhar.
balama bahar aaye balama bahar aaye balama bahar aaye balama bahar दादर मोर पबिया पिया की भोल तना बलमा बाहर आए बलमा बाहर बलमा bahar दादर मोर कभी की लगत बल मार निज यारी बिजरी डराई निज यारी बिजरी डराई निज यारी बिजरी डराई यारी बिजरी डराई कोयल सबद गुनाए बल हर आए बल हर आए बल बलमा बहर आए बल बलमा बहर आए बलमा बहर आए बलमा बहर आए बहर आए बहर